Hey guys, I just want to make a quick video to show you how to go through the portfolio since we're going to do it online. Alright, so here is our Blackboard page. We are going to go down right here. It says portfolio. So we're going to click on that. Here's the template. Here's where you submit it. So clicking on the template, I already have it up right here. This is what should come up. Notice it's only going to be one Excel document, so it'll be super easy for you to submit, super easy for me to grade. At the bottom, everything's already totally laid out for you. At the bottom, you can kind of toggle through the different spreadsheets and you can see the different assignments. That way it's only one document you're having to save. All right, so let's go through this. Starting off with 1.1, it tells you the directions on everyone and everything. It says after determining the number of hours you spend in each category, so first we need to fill this out. So on a normal, in general, because every day I know is different, maybe non-corona schedule, let's fill this out. We are going to do, just to make it easy, we are going to complete the chart. We are going to use C for class, H for homework, S for sleep, W for work, and O for other. Just to make it easier to fill, because it gets a little tedious filling this out. So just to show you, just to kind of say we're just going to stay here and say at 12 to 1 a.m. I'm probably sleeping. So just S, just S. And then press enter, sleeping, press enter. Also, if you want to fill this out, I'm going to hover over my S and say I'm sleeping until 8 a.m. So I'm going to use this, click on this one, go to the bottom right-hand corner, and it should be, I'm just hovering over, I'm not clicking. There should be an X, a black cross, and I'm going to scroll all the way down, so I want all those to be S's. And then I'm doing, I don't know, class, so C, so press enter, and then I'm doing class until noon. So that's how you can kind of fill out multiple. So here's an example. I already filled all of this out. It's just a sample. Again, tedious, but I went through and I said, okay, how many C's do I have? I counted all of my C's and they were 15. I counted all of my H's and there was 32, all of my S's and they were 54, 15 for work, 52 for other. So boom, we have all of that done. So super cool. All right, so this is what your finished product should look like. So it says after determining the number of hours you spend in each category, then enter those values into the appropriate B column, which we did right here. Then make a pie chart to illustrate the data. Copy and paste the pie chart into a Word document and then type a few sentences. All right, so here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use, see how it's a white cross? I'm going to press and hold and highlight, press and hold and highlight this whole little chart. And then I'm going to go to insert. Up here it says insert. A pie chart. So here's our pie chart. So press that. And I'm going to insert a pie chart. So press enter. Boom. There's everything. You can go up here. You can change your colors, whatever you want. Totally up to you. I don't know why, but I feel like these are not very pretty colors, but whatever. Change your color. You can go up here and change your style. If you want it to look a certain way, totally up to you. So couple things we want to do. Oops. We are going to add chart elements. So clicking on our chart over here to chart elements, I'm going to click on chart title above the chart. That's good. I can double click on it and I can say schedule if you want to rename it. Press enter. Oops. Just click out. Clicking back on my chart We can add more elements. I want to do my labels. I'm going to do data call out. I like data call out the best because if you click on that, it shows you 9% is class, 19% is homework, 32% is sleep, blah, blah, all that good stuff. And then we have our label down here, which is our legend. So it should be legend at the top. Make sure your legend's on there at all if you want to move it to the right. Whatever you want to do, totally up to you. So that's that. All right, so lastly, we want to copy and paste the chart into a Word document and then type a few sentences about what we observed. So I'm going to click my entire chart and I'm going to either right click and go to copy, or I can do Control C. And then I'm going to open up a Word document, blank Word document, and I'm going to either Command V or I could have right clicked and went to paste. So here, this is here, I can now type a few sentences. Notice this is not words, it's a few sentences explaining what this pie chart shows you. So something like, oh, it looks like I spend a lot of time sleeping, which you probably should. A lot of time doing homework, so that's awesome. I have this little time over here for work, and then other, whether it's hobby, it's whatever. You can see, do you spend your time wisely? Do you not spend your time wisely? What should you spend more time on? You know, whatever you want to say here. All right, so here, I want to save this because we're done with Word. This is the only thing in Word that we need. So File, Save As, and I want to save it as whatever I want. Culligan Portfolio, Word doc. All right, and then I always save it to my desktop so that way it's easy to be found. Save it as a Word document, press save. We're going to come back to that in a second. So I'm just going to minimize it, come back to that in a second. We are now done with 1.1. I always like to save it after every time just to make sure. So if you do File, again, Save As, label it. I label it as Portfolio Example, whatever you want. Go to your desktop. Leave it as an Excel workbook, press save. Perfect. So now that's done. Let me go back to this one. So that way it's blank. So this is, let's say it's saved. All right, so going over to 1.2, here's our next assignment. Here's a bank statement. It gives us recent transactions, and it tells us our balance, all this good stuff. So money that we took out, money that we put in, took out is our debts in red, credits is money that we put in black, and then our balance. So it asks us to write a formula for cell F4. So here's my F column, here is the 4 rows. So F4 goes right here. So notice it says, I'm pointing on my finger, up here it says F4, and that is F, and then over here is 4. So I want to type in that formula. So equals, exactly, you have to do it exactly right. SUM, in parentheses, capital D9. I can also press the D9 cell if you want to, colon, D23. So notice it highlights everything that I want to add up. Closing my parentheses, press enter. If you entered it correctly, it should say this exact value, so $1,121.17 in red. If that's not right, make sure that you check that this is exactly the same. Adding up all of our credits, same concept. So in this F5 cell, I want to type equals sum, in parentheses. What do we have here? E9, I think it was. Oops. E9 to E23. So up here, I can either double click and I'll get it back, or I can click up here. So E9 colon E23. Closing my parentheses. I already did that. Press enter. Boom. Here, if I click on it, I can see up here my formula. Everything's right. If you did it correctly, it should say $1,215.20. Lastly, our statement balance. It asks us to write a formula for cell F6 to compute the statement balance after all the credits and debts have been included. Red entries are being recorded as negative values in Excel, so it's already subtracting it for us, which is why we're adding the two together instead of subtracting. So in this F6, I'm going to double click F6. I'm going to type in equals, and I can either press F5 or I can type in F5 plus F4. Press enter. There's my new balance, $94.03. So that is it for 1-2. Again, press file, and we're going to do save as portfolio, whatever you want to name it. Save it as the same thing you named it before. I changed my document so that way I had a blank document for you, so that's why I changed over. So go to desktop, and then just press save. So save yours the same as you did on 1.1. So everything's all right here. 1-4. Here's another simple account interest versus compound interest. All right, so after so many years, and then here's our values, both starting off with $1,000. So type a formula into C3 that will give the value in account 1 after 1 year of growth at 5% simple interest. So that means we're going to do 5% of 1,000, which is 50. Each year the account is going to grow by 50. So for C3, so typing in, clicking C3, I'm going to double click C3. So I can type in the formula. It's right here, equals C2 plus 50. So equals C2 plus 50. So that previous cell, which is C2, plus $50. So we know it's going to be the same. Let's skip that for a second. Let's go over to account 2. Account 2. So type a formula into D3. So clicked on D3. That will give the value in account 2 after 1 year of growth at 5% compound interest. So here's our compound interest formula. Our principal times 1 plus our rate to the power of time. Our principal was 1,000 times 1 plus our rate was 5%, so 0.05 to the t power. So because accounts with compound interest show exponential growth, and the interest rate is 5% each year, the new amount is 1.05. So 1 plus 0.05 is 1.05 times the previous year. So in this, it works this all out for us. So in D3, we are going to type in this formula, equals D2 times 1 plus 0.0 times 1.05. So D3, double clicking, equals D2 times 1.05. Press enter. Boom, you should also get $1,050. Last thing, we're going to use autofill feature to extend these values down to 30 years. So clicking on C3, we're going to hover over C3 in the lower right hand corner until you see this black cross. We're going to click on it, and then we're going to drag it all the way down. And then when I let up, boom, it fills out everything for me. Super cool with that same formula. It takes that same formula and extends it all the way down. Same thing for D3. We're going to click on D3, hover over the lower right-hand corner, holding it down and dragging all the way down to the bottom. When I let up, boom. So that means after 30 years in simple interest, our account will have $2,500. Our account 2, compound interest, after 30 years will have $4,321.94. Awesome. So that's done. File, save. So that way that one's done. Going over to 1.5. Here's our next assignment. We have 3 more. We're halfway there. The data shows the page from 71 of our textbook. In column A are the hours after midnight, and column A corresponds to the temperature in column B. So 0 hours after midnight, so at midnight, it's 61 degrees. 1 hour after midnight, it's 63 degrees. 2 hours after midnight, 62, so on and so forth. We want to create a scatter diagram that displays this data as points and another scatter diagram that displays the points connected by curves. So what we're going to do, just like we did on the 1.1, we are going to take our white cross and we are going to highlight this entire chart. Nothing more, nothing less. So it should look exactly like that. Make sure that you have the labels highlighted, nothing extras highlighted. It should look just like this. We are now going to go to insert. So right here it says insert. We are going to go over here to scatter. It should look just like this one. The first one says displays the data as points, so just this one. So just the points. Oops. So we're going to click this. Just as we did on the previous one, you can change your colors, whatever you want to do. Over here, you can change your style, totally up to you, whatever floats your boat. Going here to add chart element, this is what has to be there. Our axes have to be labeled, so both of those, so our numbers have to be there. Our chart title, our chart title is already there, so that's good. Chart above, you can do centered overlay, whatever you want to do as long as your title is there that says temperature. Our axis titles, we have to have both of those checked. So axis titles, make sure both of those are there. So down here, this is our x-axis, which is this column right here, our column A, which is hours after midnight. So I double-clicked on that axis title, and now I can erase it and relabel it hours after midnight. I will be looking to see that these are labeled. Same thing for our Y column, which is this B column, which is our temperature. So double-clicking, and I'm going to erase that and relabel it as temperature. All right, and then pressing out. That's pretty much all we need. Let me just make sure. Clicking again my chart, going to add, that's done. Yeah, that's good. That's about all I need. So let's do one more of these. So again, highlighting everything just like we just did. Inserting, going to our scatter. This time we want scatters with lines. So we want this next one, scatter with smooth lines. Again, you can change your color, change your format. I just want to make sure that when you click on this, we go to add chart elements. Our axis has the numbers on horizontal and vertical, so that's good. Make sure that our horizontal and vertical go into axis titles, primary, vertical. Those are both labeled just as we did up here. Same thing, double clicking on axis titles. We're going to change this horizontal axis to hours after midnight. And then our vertical y-axis, we're going to change that, double clicking and changing it to temperature. All right, and that's done. So that's all we need. Oop, let me go back. I kind of messed that up. I want to click on this whole thing and move it because I'm OCD, so that way it's a little more centered. All right, and that's it for 1.5. File save just to be sure. Going over to lesson 2.1, we have 2 left. So I'm going to scroll up because I wasn't seeing everything. So this is dealing with test scores. So I get a lot of people saying like, oh, what do I need on the final exam? All that good stuff. This is what shows you how to do that. So these are possible points. So in test 1, the highest score you can get is 100. Exam 2 is 100. 3 and 4 is 100. This is just sample, not for our class. Homework, the total possible points you can earn is 200. And the final exam is worth 200 points. So that's what it is. This sample is saying that we earned a 73 on test 1, 78 on exam 2, 84 out of 100 on exam 3, 82 out of 100 on exam 4, 164 out of our total 200 points, and 100 out of our 200 total on our final exam. So, sorry for my dog. Sorry. All right, so 1, enter a formula in H2 that will calculate the total sum points possible for this course. All right, so we are going to enter formula in H2. So H2, so right here going over to H, down to 2. So over here it says H2, up here it says H2. We know we're at H2. I want to double click and type in the formula equals sum in parentheses B2 colon G2. Closing my parentheses, press enter. So it should say 800 if you did it right. I'm reading that because here's the directions right here. Here is the exact formula that I should enter. All right, so next step, number 2, enter the formula in H3 that will calculate the total points earned for this course. So here's our formula. We're going to type in equals in parentheses sum B3 to G3. So it's going to add up all of these. So double clicking on H3, I can type in equals sum in parentheses B3 colon G3. Closing my parentheses, and notice it highlights what I want it to add up, which is perfect. Press enter. Step 3, enter a formula into the I3. So going over to I down to 3. That will calculate the overall percentage for this course. So typing in that formula equals in parentheses H3 in parentheses H3 divided by H2. So that's a slash. Close my parentheses times 100. Press enter. Oh, I already have it in percentage. Oops. Let me change my formula here. Press enter. All right, so I already have it in percentage. So I can either change this to general, and that will give me the right number right there. All right. So what I did was I just clicked on this and I changed it. It was on percentage. I just changed it to general. So no, it wasn't formatting it already for me. So step 4, to determine the grade for the student before taking the final exam, you will need to delete the values in G2 and G3. We're going to do that right now. So G2, delete, just pressing delete on my keyboard, and G3, delete. What overall percentage does the student have before taking the final exam? Boom, here's my answer. I'm going to type that in right here. So 80.16667%. If you want to round that, go for it and just say 80%. That's fine. So you have about 80%. And I'm going to make sure you type that right there so I see that you did that step. What would the overall percentage change to if this student gotten a 42 on exam 4 rather than an 82? So it tells us to enter 42 in cell E3. We're going to change that 82 to 42. So I hovered over it, type 42, press enter. It changes my overall score right here, 73.5. So I can type in that student would have had a 73.5%. All right, over here, change the spreadsheet back so that way G2 contains 200. So G2, 200, press enter. And E3 contains 82. So E3, where we change it to 42, let's go back and press 82, press enter. What is the lowest overall percentage that this student could earn in the course after taking the final exam? So it tells us if they got a 0, the lowest score is a 0. So in the final exam, they got a 0. So we're going to enter that into our G3 cell. Press enter. So this is our lowest score. So they would get a 60.125% as their lowest score. What is the highest overall percentage for the final exam? So this is wrong. I'm sorry. This is supposed to be 200. So out of 200 possible points, so we need to type in 200. Press enter. So out of 200, they earned all 200. And then our overall score would be here, which would be 85.125. So that would be their highest overall score, and they could earn. We're not going to do the optional. We don't have time for optional right now. So don't worry about that. So, did I delete my overall percentage? There we go. Okay, so that's it for 2.1. So file, save. Next, last but not least, 2.4. So all of y'all's favorite thing to do is conversions, I know. So this is a way that will help us to convert easier. So we're going to go from meters to feet in blue, from meters to inches in green, from meters to yard in yellow, and from meters to miles in purple. So starting off with our blue, meters to feet, it says enter a formula in cell B2 that will convert meters to feet. Using 1 meter is about 3.28 feet. It does a conversion for us, and it tells us the formula. So here's our formula. We're going to type into our B2 cell. So going to B2, clicking that, double clicking that, pressing enter, and we're going to do equals A2 times. Notice it says for that time symbol, that multiplication symbol, we're going to do shift 8, 3.28. Press enter. So 5 meters is about 16.4 feet. Same thing for meters to inches. Enter the formula in B5. Why does it say B5? And F2, sorry. F2. It does the conversion for us. Boom, here is our formula. So double clicking equals F2 times 3.28 times 12. Enter. Oh, no, this was right. I'm sorry. This was supposed to be E. Okay. Change that. So equals E2 times 3.28 times 12. Press enter. So good. So 5 meters is about 196.8 inches. Going to yards, meters to yards. It tells us in this cell, this K2 cell, we're going to type in, here's all the math for us, and it tells us down here our formula that we're going to use. So clicking K2, double clicking so I can type in equals in parentheses J2 times 3.28, closing our parentheses, divided by 3. Press enter. So it says 5 meters is about 5.4667 yards. And last but not least, from meters to miles, here's the formulas. In this Q2 cell, we're going to double click and we're going to type in this formula. Notice that it's division. The division symbol is located to the left of the shift key, that if you need it's just a regular slash. So double clicking Q2, we can do equals in parentheses P2 times 3.28, closing our parentheses, divided by 5,280. Pressing enter. Seriously? Oh, I forgot to do, it says 9 instead of a parenthesis. So double clicking. We have, let me just start over. Let's just forget all this. Okay. Double clicking. Let's try it again. Equals in parentheses. This is what messed up before. I forgot the parentheses. P2 times 3.28, closing my parentheses, divided by 5,280. So now that should be correct. Pressing enter. So 5 meters is about 0.0031 miles. All right, so make sure this is saved. So file, save it again. Everything saved. Let's minimize that. Let's go ahead and let me show you how to, we're done, so that's cool, how to submit it. So click on submit portfolio here. Just click on that. And this tells us how to upload it. So I can browse my computer, go to my desktop, and I can find, here's my Culligan portfolio Word document. So double click that, browse my computer, and then to the Word document, and then now the Excel document. And then here was my portfolio So make sure those two things have to be attached, and then just go down. That's it. So just press submit and you're done. So I hope that this helps. If you have any other questions, please email me, let me know. If not, good luck. That is your portfolio.